Hello, myself is Professor Praveen Bhandari. Today we will be understanding some basic concepts which are used when we are studying a size reduction and the related theories. The objective of today's session is to make the viewer aware about what are the typical shapes of either feed or product which are observed whenever we carry out any size reduction operation, and how we can find out the equivalent size of the particle which is often of a irregular shape. Now this size reduction is the heart of any mineral processing industry. Even in many process industry, either as a part of raw material preparation as an intermediate step or a finished step, finishing operation, the size reduction is often used. We are also required to calculate how much is the energy required for size reduction to find out the average size of the particle. So in that case, today's session will be useful. Let us try to understand the different aspects related to typical shapes of the feed and product observed whenever we carry out any size reduction, and how the equivalent dimension for that particular shape in terms of regular spherical particle can be determined. Now, whenever we carry out any size reduction, so the size of the product, or say a shape of the product or a feed, may not be a regular. Therefore, to facilitate the calculation and comparison of particle with regular shape is made, and thereafter the equivalent dimension or the equivalent size of that particular particle can be carried out. So some shapes typically observed during any size reduction operation are presented before you. You can see the shapes may vary from very angular to well-rounded. Now in case of very angular shape, the sphericity may vary from low to high. Now what is sphericity, that we are going to understand in subsequent slides. It could be a subangular, sub-rounded, rounded and well-rounded. So depending upon what is the mechanism of size reduction, we may get the products of various shapes and size. Now let us try to understand what are the regular shapes which we often deal with. The first one is cube, another one is sphere, third one is cone, fourth one is tetrahedron, cylinder and needle-like. Now even though the regular shapes are presented before you, but I just want to make it very clear that we will be dealing with the determination of equivalent size in terms of sphere, or assuming the spherical shape, because it is very easy to deal with spherical shape and to do the calculations. And therefore now as the particle may not be spherical, we have seen that it might be angular, semi-angular, or maybe of intricate shape. Now the first task is to find out how close it resembles to the spherical shape. So to correlate that, a concept of sphericity is proposed. This concept was proposed by Hakon Weddell in 1935, and it is still used widely to find out the equivalence between the particle of intricate shape and how close it resembles to the spherical shape. So it is denoted by a letter phi. Now the definition is, it is the ratio of surface to volume ratio for a sphere of diameter dp and surface to volume ratio for the irregular shaped particle whose nominal diameter is dp. That means it is the surface to volume ratio of the spherical particle to the surface to volume ratio of the particle under consideration, assuming its nominal diameter as a dp. So just in the form of formula, the same concept is presented in front of you, that sphericity is equal to surface to volume ratio of sphere of diameter dp to the surface to volume ratio of a particle whose nominal size is dp. There are the different value of the sphericity depending upon how it resembles to the regular shape. In a previous slides, we have seen the different shapes, regular shapes like sphere, cylinder, cone, cube and tetrahedron. And therefore, if the particle is of exactly spherical shape, then its sphericity will be 1. For the cylinder having a length equal to diameter, the sphericity is 0.87, cone 0.794, cube 0.81, and the sphericity of the tetrahedron in this case is least, that is 0.671. Now, after determining the sphericity, we are also required to find out the average size of the particle. Now, how that average size of the particle can be found out? That average size of the particle can be found out mainly by a screen analysis. In further lectures, we will be talking about how screen analysis can be used for determination of average size of the particle. Now again, why it is necessary to explain or to determine the average size of the particles? Because it is our regular experience that whenever we do the size reduction, we never get the particles of regular shape and size. There is only one exception where when we use the mechanism of size reduction as a cutting, and typically when we use die or dicers for cutting, then and then only we will get the particle of regular shape and size. In another case, the sizes of the particles vary from finest to coarsest. So in this case, for determination of average size of the particle, what is done is a certain sample is taken, then that sample is analyzed using screen, that is screen analysis is carried out, and the weight of material retained on each screen is noted down. Likewise, the screen opening is also noted down. And once we know that data about the weight of material retained on each screen to the screen opening, then the average particle size can be determined. Now, there are different ways of expressing the average particle size. We have typically considered two cases in this case. Now, consider that after screen analysis, the particles are retained on a different screen. So, first is to find out the average particle size. Now, average particle size concept is applicable only for that particular screen. So, what does it mean? Suppose if there are two screens, and if the particle passes from first screen and retained on the second screen, then the size of the screen opening of the first screen, this one, plus size of the screen opening on which it is retained divided by 2 is the average particle diameter. Likewise, for every screen we can find out average particle diameter. Thereafter, the weight fraction of the material retained on that screen divided by average particle diameter. So, if this term is determined for all the screens, then 1 upon summation of xi upon dpi average, where I varies from 1 to n, will give us the volume surface mean diameter. So, even though your sample varies in the sizes, but all these varying sizes are combined and can be expressed by a single equivalent size, that is the volume surface mean diameter. It's very popular one, and we'll be using it throughout the course for the various calculations. This is another term, arithmetic mean diameter. So actually it's very difficult, but just for the sake of your understanding and for presenting the concept I am discussing in front of you, it is based on the size of the particle, based on number of particles present in a given sample. Mathematically it can be expressed as the arithmetic mean diameter. A stands for arithmetic. Is summation of ni number of particles of a particular size dpi average, where I varies from 1 to n, divided by the summation of number of particles. Now again, that dpi average is calculated as described in a previous. It is the ratio of it is the sum of the opening of two successive screens divided by 2. So for a particular size, it is multiplied by number of particles, and if there are number of size ranges, multiplied by number of particles in that size range divided by total number of particles will give us the arithmetic mean diameter. Now again, to calculate number of or to measure the number of particles is very difficult. Therefore, the simplified expression is arithmetic mean diameter is equal to the ratio of summation of xi, that is weight fraction of the material on ith screen, divided by square of average particle diameter, where I varies from 1 to n, to the summation of xi upon dpi average q, where I varies from 1 to n. So in this way, by using the screen analysis, you can determine either volume surface mean diameter or arithmetic mean diameter. These are the references which I have used for preparing this presentation. So what we have understood in this presentation is that the size of the particle which are obtained during the size reduction varies. So for a calculation, it is necessary to express it in how close it resembles to sphere, that is expressed by sphericity, and for the practical calculation purpose, it is necessary to find out the average size of the particle. So in this way, by using a screen analysis and by using the terms like volume surface mean diameter, arithmetic mean diameter, we can find out the average size of the particle.